We're proud of you. Thank you for representing us very well, and actually giving us not just hope, but just encouragement that just a continued effort that I know we know what you can do, right? So we like to bring the world to you. So this is why we're online discussing this, so that the people can see that we excel, despite what people say about us, and just continue to keep. And if you need us, continue to just follow on us, call on us. We appreciate the partnership. Thank you so much. And so that's about it. It's not new to me. It's not foreign. Sorry. I don't, it's not surprising to me. But I'm grateful that you're able to excel like that and keep up the good work, right? Thank you. Superintendent?
Thank you. President, can you join me, please?
Oh.
At this time, we would like to do a few recognitions and honors to individuals that have gone above and beyond to serve the district as well as the community and the students within the district. This first honor is a certificate of distinction. The certificate is proudly presented to Daryl Seegers in recognition of your appointment to the MCSA Board of Directors. Thank you for your services and for representing our district at the state level. Given on the 21st day of November 2022 in Pontiac, Michigan. Thank you. This is a huge platform for Daryl to have a seat on a board that represents us as an urban district, being able to tell our story, our voice, advocate for our children at the state level from a legal standpoint. So congratulations and thank you very much. Our next honor is to show just gratification and appreciation of a partnership that has been in existence for many years. And we were not able to do this so many years ago because of the deficit that the district had, because of the situation that we were facing, and our partners truly stepped up and filled in gaps. We want to recognize and honor today with great appreciation. The Pontiac School District honors the Crystal Lake District Coats for Kids in memory of Yvonne Johnson. For the past decade, you have helped our students by annually providing coats. Your generosity is invaluable to our families, and we thank you and all involved with your organization who make these gifts possible each year. Presented on November 21st, 2022. Thank you. And this is a small one too.
Thank you. Good afternoon, good evening, rather. I give the glory to God because these kids need some coats. And, without God's help and the churches, it would not have been successful. So I thank you for the success of this coat drive. Thank you very much. God bless both of y'all.
Thank you. This honor will come as a shock to her because she has proven to go beyond the expectation of her role in this district to serve our English language learners in so many ways. And she gets calls throughout the night and responds to them. Every year, she has a smile on her face. Now that she has been working over in this department, we have seen her do miracles with our parents in making sure they receive the services. It is an honor to be able to recognize Carmen Guzman today, finally, because you are a superhero in this district. We tricked her. We told her we needed her to translate today. So I just want to read with great appreciation The Pontiac School District honors Carmen Guzman. Each day you provide support and advocacy for our ELL, ESL families, whether providing a warm welcome to the district, securing resources, or translating important communications at all hours of the day. Your dedication shines through. We thank you for always going above and beyond the district, for the district and the families we serve. Presented on November 21st, 2022. Thank you. Would you like to say anything?
I just want to say thank you, really. Working with these families is a pleasure. I always say that my heart is to see with all the poverty that we see in Pontiac. And I wish I have a lot more resources to give to people. But I think the most important part is that we are going to help them to succeed and to have a better future for everybody. So I want to thank you, and I want to thank God for this. And thank you very much. Very humbly, I really appreciate this very, very much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And lastly, this gentleman does not know that he's going to receive this evening, but he came to the district willing and ready to do whatever was needed to help us get through some very challenging times. And today we want to honor Mr. James Graham, better known as Jim Graham. With great appreciation, the Pontiac School District honors James Graham. Your commitment to ensuring the financial well-being of our district is exceptional. You play a pivotal role in countless initiatives which positively impact our district. This includes eliminating a $52 million deficit, attaining a zero findings audit, and passing a $147 million bond. We thank you for always going above and beyond for the district and the families we serve. Presented on November 21st, 2022. Thank you.
Wow, this is really unexpected. Wow, I really appreciate it. When I heard about this job, and again, I live about an hour away, it was like, boy, that's gonna be a long drive. But I just felt really called to do it, and I thought I could provide some value to the district. But I can tell you that I've received so much more back, and I just appreciate. I've never been with a group of people that work so hard all the time. Just incredible. I am honored and humbled to have served this district, and I really super appreciate this. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Any comments from the board? Okay, we're gonna save them for closing comments, right? Oh, okay, all right, help me, because I was a little nervous about what's going on today. We're gonna move down to recognition of elected officials. Any elected officials in the audience? I don't see any, but I see 4 on the board. Good evening, trustees.
Good evening.
We're gonna move down to consent agenda. Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Okay, President Garrett,
Yes.
Trustee Gross is not here, Trustee Hannah, yes, Trustee Terry,
Yes.
Trustee Turpin is not here, VP Bowman is not here, and Trustee Davis Smith.
Yes.
We pass.
All right, thank you. We're going to move down to information from the superintendent administration, discussion item, retention pay.
Thank you.
Superintendent.
Thank you very much, President. At this time, we are in a situation where we received ESSER funding from the state level, and we would like to bring forth a recommendation for retention pay. There are still many challenges that the districts are facing across the state of Michigan in regards to retaining teaching staff as well as substitute teachers. It is pivotal that we have certified teachers as well as individuals in place to educate our students. And in order to be competitive amongst other surrounding districts, we want to present the board with a recommendation in regards to retention pay, which is an allowable expenditure for these dollars. and this will be our final one for the year using our ESSER funding. I'll turn it over to Ms. Kellum to read the bear.
Good evening, Superintendent Williams, President Garrett, trustees, staff, and community that has just left. This is a approval of retention stipend for PSD employees and vendors. Background rationale reads, we currently have positions that have been difficult to fill. Providing a retention stipend to employees provides the district the opportunity to retain its current workforce while continuing to look to hire new employees. The qualifications for the retention stipend will be to provide a $4,000 retention stipend to all full-time district employees and a few select contractors who regularly serve our district. They must work until the last day of the fiscal year 23 school year, June 2023, or the district will recoup the full retention stipend. We'll also provide a $2,000 retention stipend to all part-time district employees. Must work until the last day of the fiscal year school year, June 2023, or the district will recoup the full retention stipend. We will also be providing a $2,000 retention stipend to long-term substitute teachers and full-time contract and ancillary staff. Must work until the last day of the fiscal year 23 school year, June 2023, or the district will recoup the full retention stipend. In addition, we will provide a $1,000 retention stipend to part-time contract ancillary staff. Must work until the last day of the fiscal year 23 school year, June 2023, or the district will recoup the full retention stipend. Retention stipend stipulations. Retention stipend will be paid out by the December 16, 2022 paycheck. Contractors and sub-teachers payment is subject to vendor payment timelines. Eligible employees are those who are active on December 2nd, 2022. All eligible staff must acknowledge the terms of the retention stipend via an online contract sent to their work email, requiring the employee to click either agree or opt out and sign electronically by December 2nd. Any signed electronic contracts received after Friday, December 2nd will not be paid out. You must work until the last day of the fiscal year 23 school year, June 2023, or the district will recoup the full retention stipend and your W-2 will be adjusted. Leave of absence, staff returning December 2nd through June 9th, 2023 will receive a prorated retention stipend on the June 9th, 2023 paycheck based on the number of months worked. Must work until the last day of the school year, June 2023, or the district will recoup the full retention stipend issued and your W-2 will be adjusted. Anyone returning after June 9, 2023 will not be eligible due to grant fund availability. Qualifying retiree employees who opt in to receive payment must work until the last day of the school year, June 2023, or the district will recoup the full retention stipend and your W-2 will be adjusted. It is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Education approve the retention stipend in the amount of $2.8 million for full-time, part-time PSD employees and vendors. Grant funding is coming from ESSER dollars.
Thank you. And these are qualifiable to be taxed. I know that has been a discussion in the past. So any retention pay is taxed.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Okay. Hearing none, we're going to move down to action item, approval of retention pay. Are you trying to get my attention? No. Oh, okay. You sure? Okay. You positive?
Depends on what you're talking about.
Okay. All right. Need a motion on the floor to accept the motion. Need a motion on the floor to accept approval for retention pay.
So moved.
So moved by trustee
Support.
David Smith. Yeah, I'm starting to sound alike. Okay. Moved by trustee Terry. No, supported by trustee Terry. Question, comment, or concerns? Hearing none. Roll call.
Okay, trustee Gross is not here. Trustee Hannah, yes. Trustee Terry?
Yes.
Trustee Turpin is not here. VP Bowman is not here. Trustee Davis Smith?
Yes.
And President Garrett.
Yes.
Motion passed.
All right. Thank you. I'm going to move down to regular working agenda. I had Ms. Wright put in there the OCSBA biannual orientation dinner for the newly elected and recently appointed first-time school board trustees. I just wanted to bring that to the full board's attention. I'm not sure if they have really certified the election or not, but we are onboarding trustee Kraft. And so I wasn't sure if they would have had the certifications done by now. But I would like to invite him actually to this particular dinner to kind of, hey, these are some of the things that happens countywide. And I just wanted to bring out that to the board in respect to full attention. And then we'll have a discussion with the superintendent on Wednesday if there's no objection to allowing that invitation. No? Okay. All right, thank you. And that was it. Want to move down to finance items? Monthly finance report, October 2022. The presenter, Mr. Graham. Superintendent, the meeting is yours.
Thank you. I will defer to Mr. Graham. You know that's the going joke, Jim.
She gave me a special training today, so. Okay, so this is the monthly financial report through the month ended October 31st, 2022. Again, as has been the theme now for quite a while, we have a very healthy cash position. As of the end of October, about $27.2 million. And you can see in the next chart, this is something I added this year, which shows basically our cash flow with and without the TAN. And then you can see that now pretty much these charts are going to parallel each other because we have paid the TAN off, the $11 million that we borrowed for the tax anticipation note. But you can see our cash position has improved over the last 3 years and hopefully will continue to do so. Budget to actual had about $5.6 million of additional revenue in the month of October. October represents the first month we received state aid, primarily in the months of July and August and September is property tax revenues. And now those are pretty much received, except for some delinquent taxes. So we're going to start moving into receiving state and federal money as our primary source of revenues. Budget to actual general fund expenditures, about $5.8 million expended in the month of October. Really our first full month of operation as a school district. This is our income statement, and it shows the categories by object. And you can see the prior year percentages, and we're very much in line with where we were at this time last year. So this is a good barometer to see if our budget is on track. Food service fund, again, we are a little bit behind in getting the revenues recorded. We actually recorded the revenues, but getting the state, the federal dollars reimbursed. So that has been received. So the next month we will be caught up on that. And again, October was the first full month of food service operations. Sinking fund, cash flow, you can see about $7.3 million in sinking fund. Again, primarily the revenues coming in are, well, not primarily, pretty much all of it is the 0.8 sinking fund millage. So again, we received those taxes in July, August, and September. And this is a bond issue. And again, it shows the year to date. We are continuing, and we'll have a presentation after this, continuing to continue with our projects, paying the contractors. So you're going to see a lot of activity going forward this year in terms of those payments. On a bright note, we are starting to see some positive interest earnings with the increase in the Fed rate. So that will continue to hopefully be a positive and provide some additional resources for the bond issue. And we do have a retreat coming up. I'll have a summary of the budget amendment at that retreat. So I'm actually working on that as we speak. And with that, I'll be glad to answer any questions you have.
Any questions from the trustees? Okay. Hearing none. Superintendent, the meeting is still yours. Monthly bond presentation. Mr. Graham, Mr. England, and the ARC team.
Thank you. I will defer to the ARC team for the bond presentation.
We'll bring Juan Vasquez III up here to be our primary speaker, but we'll be here for support. And I'll show you how to use this. Yeah, those two. Well, everybody knows.
Over this. All right, good evening, President Garrett, Superintendent Williams, members of the board and community, good evening. So looking forward to this next bond update. It's that time of the end of this presentation of the month. So starting with Project Middle School infrastructure upgrades. Things are still on track. A lot of good things are happening at the middle school. Looking forward to showing you, I think last month we showed you some steel upgrades, some cafeteria. I like to highlight different things every month that's occurring in the space. Still pushing for end of February. Really, I still have the date up there of August. We have to have material show up in February to be successful. We do have delivery dates and some equipment on the solution that the team found to be successful, but I need that equipment to show up first week of February to feel comfortable with that time. Work is in progress, and again, it's pending that equipment showing up. So the existing gym, that's just a nice picture. It's all brand new, painted. I know Lee Industrial went in and changed all the existing light fixture lamps, but that space has all been painted. It looks great in that in the existing gym. Also a nice milestone is the casework for some of the classrooms showed up. That's on the right. That's in progress. A lot of painting going on in the classrooms. Ceilings are starting next week in there to allow the light fixtures to move forward. And then beyond that would be light fixtures, ceiling tile after inspections, and flooring. This is just a before and after from last month. If you recall, we had steel structures installed for the rooftop units. Actually on the steel, that is your new mechanical units. There's, I think there's about 15 on this site. So it's quite a bit. So it's good to have them up there. Any questions? Well, I guess we'll get to the questions after. Moving on to WHRC addition. Another upgrade from the last picture on the left is the lighting is installed in the multi-purpose addition. So that's done, as well as the sheet metals continuing throughout the corridors. The picture on the right we did share last time is the metal panels and the exterior upgrades, the exterior finish of the multi-purpose addition. But what you see there, which is great, is the concrete slab, the sidewalks are installed around that structure. That the sidewalks were a constraint for the playgrounds, which is the next picture. So if you remember, for the last year, we've been talking about we cannot finish the playground project until WHRC's multi-purpose room is up and the concrete is installed. So that was actually last week. I believe that it's further along and they're wrapping it up this week. So it's good to have that done. You can see the multi-purpose room in the background of the picture on the left. And that is also more upgrades. That is the new main entrance and going to the art room. That's all the new concrete slabs and the benches and everything that were installed. So that is also installed and complete. On the left, that looks different today. That was Tuesday last week. That is the kitchen serving line area. And you can see they're sanding the floor, putting the LVT or the luxurious vinyl tile down. That is 95% complete now. And even beyond in the picture, Saturday they finished installing the epoxy paint on the floor. So that's done as well. And what you normally don't see and appreciate until it's cold in the building, the picture on the right I really wanted to show. Marvin Beasley loves this picture. He loves this room because the old boilers are always a maintenance issue. They were very old. They were the original boilers. Those are your new condensing boilers. They're installed the space. I mean, I think he was more excited over that mechanical room than some of the other spaces. Marvin was very, very excited when he saw this the boiler upgrades.
Man,
this is the kind of, I almost like look at it as an airport, right? To each gate. It's the middle area of WHRC that combines the north wing, the south wing cafeteria. The flooring, that is floor protection. We're just waiting for the right moment to pull it up, but we finally got constraints out of the way. Got the ceiling tile installed after inspections, and I believe on the 28th, my team said the flooring is going to be all removed by the demo contractor so we can start getting the floor going and getting it waxed. So that was bid pack 11 WHRC. Another notable thing is the structural roof deck replacements in progress. I know they're over the cafeteria, working their way into the auditorium and then to the east wing. So I saw them today. Things are moving very well. Bid pack 13, the tunnel looks a lot different than this picture. There's a lot of piping going on between electrical and mechanical, prepping for chiller piping, the electrical upgrades and so forth. Bid pack 14. So big changes. I know it was a very busy summer. The bus loop at the high school. You can now see the bus loop at the middle school. A couple pictures there of the middle school, but the high school is topped out. The middle school is base coursed. We don't really want to top out the middle school. I believe you can use the space. You could use the asphalt. I would like to see that go on in the spring. There's some concrete we added in the back that has to happen before we do the topping. In addition, we have a lot of work going on this winter with Edison. Edison's going to be there with trucks, changing out the transformers. We have some more mechanical units to put on. I'd rather do that on a base course and then top out with your final top and not be working on your top asphalt. And we're in a position where that's where we're at right now. And it looks really good. A lot of concrete upgrades, and the site looks really, really good out there. So those are updated dates. I did change the orange section. That is outside the main gym. Because if you recall, we added a very large, about 25-foot structure to deep for the main gym at the gymnasium at the high school to pick up the drain tile. That structure, I think, is at least 4 more weeks out. We cannot really establish any of the orange section until we have that structure in place and all tied in. So that's our constraint for that space. We're looking at ways to get creative to get a jump on it. The metal panels are also still wrapping up in that space as scheduled. They're looking great. I don't know if you've driven by there. That's coming up in the next pictures. But that is the orange section there that we're working on. Science labs are at the middle school. I was in there today. They're actually drywalling them. They got inspections. Drywall started in there today. They'll then continue with the drywall finishes. Then paint and ceilings will follow behind that. So they're looking really good. The theaters, that looks different today too. So the theaters are all painted out. There's probably about 98%. I think there's some wood panels on the side we have to move. But so the theaters are all painted out. The floor has been also painted where the seating sits. The carpet will be installed after all the seating chairs are installed. They started that today, and they wanted to work till Friday. I told them the district's closed Thursday, Friday, and they said, well, we're going to have to finish it Wednesday. So they're moving. They started laying out today, and they unloaded today, and I'm really excited to see how far they get. So chairs are being installed. There's actually chairs. Tomorrow you'll see chairs in that space. And then after chairs would be seating. Would be the flooring. Okay, so it's looking good in that space. Another nice win is the gym floor. So that's the before of the bleachers and the gym floor and renovations. The space was painted out. The home of the Phoenix is gone. That's going to be added in another bid package, but that is now all finished and painted the color of the walls. This is a picture. It doesn't look like much because it's not sealed. A little bit by the wall maybe, but right now the wood floor is down. It's installed. Today they sealed both sides where the bleachers get installed. I met with the bleacher contractor today because my superintendent's actually in Cancun, so I'm helping covering the fields. So he's enjoying the sun, but met with the bleacher contractor, and the bleachers are showing up tomorrow. So they're going in as scheduled. So they were scheduled for the 22nd. It's going in, and right behind bleachers then we go in and we finish all the graphics on the floor and then finish the main staining in the ceiling and everything. So good stuff. It's looking really nice in the space. The waterproofing, that looks even different now. The picture on the left that's actually before the one on the right. It just kind of shows what those elevations look like. Those are actually the same as the picture on the right now. It's all tan, all new metal panels. It's all sealed. I know they're working on the coping, which is the top where the roof ties to that panel. They're getting all that installed today, tomorrow, and I think wrapping up Wednesday. It's all sealed. It's insulated. It looks really nice. It's a major upgrade from that old metal. It was all rusted. So really excited to see that. And then we have our contingency update that we work with between ARC and between AOC and reporting on where we are with the contingency on these projects. So there's our update, as well as our construction schedule. So, and I think we also keep providing lead time. We did get another indication. The latest, I think I brought up last time's concrete. There's a shortage of concrete. Portland cement, they're only making for some material. If you want concrete, you have to get it in 10-yard increments, and it's 2 to 3 weeks. So there's a shortage of concrete right now out there. So just another challenge we're all dealing with, and we're just working our way through and being proactive on how we can get through it. So thank you. Any questions?
Any questions from the board? Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Superintendent, we're going to go down to tax and revenue premier presentation. Mr. Graham,
Thank you. I'll defer to Mr. Brown.
Thank you, Superintendent. This is a kind of a brand new presentation. I'm actually kind of curious sometimes about kind of big picture stuff. And I this summer I was looking at some of the statistics regarding revenues in our surrounding districts, and so I started to work on this. And really, this is meant to kind of, well, it educated me a little bit, but also educate the community in terms of where our dollars come from. And it's important too, because as we go forward, we need to pay more attention to the areas that have a bigger impact on the district. So this is really broken up into 2 sections, really talk about tax information regarding our taxpayers and the impact on those taxpayers, and then overall revenues also. So this was actually presented as part of the information when we went to the voters for the bond issue, and it is still true today. We reduced the millage prior to the bond issue. We had a 2.87 mil sinking fund. We were able to reduce the sinking fund to 0.8 mils, and then have a bond issue that had an impact of 2 mils. So it's actually a small decrease for our community, and really, you had a decrease in your taxes, and look what we've been able to do, as you saw with the previous presentation. So we are the lowest in Oakland County for our tax bill, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit more. So this kind of just shows a before and after. I just mentioned the 2.87 mils dropping to 2.8 mils. Basically for homeowners, there's 3 different millages that they pay. There's actually a fourth. The fourth is everybody pays a 6 mil education tax no matter what. Every home, every business pays 6 mils, and that goes to the state of Michigan, doesn't go to the local district. That money goes to the state, into the state budget. Then there are hold harmless millage, and I don't want to get into too much detail, but years ago, the really wealthy districts were able to continue to levy enough mills to keep those revenues coming in. So a certain amount of districts are hold harmless. Then the sinking fund and the bond debt, which we have here in Pontiac. So you can see the overall millage rate, Lanphier being the highest, and this is for homeowners, 17.49 mils, and we're at 2.80 mils in Pontiac.
Jeez.
This shows in graphic form the 3 different components of millage and how the 28 districts stack up against each other.
So I'll wait till after the presentation.
Yeah. This was enlightening. County equalization every 3 years does what they call an average tax bill. So last one they did was in 2020. And essentially they look at the average taxable value for a home in that community. So what I did is I took that average taxable value that was provided by Oakland County Equalization, and I multiplied it times the millage rate, which is actually current, it's 2022 millage rate. And you can see the average tax bill for a homeowner in Bloomfield Hills is $2,510, and in Pontiac it's $97. Wow. So this is, again, I think pretty informative in terms of the tax impact for our homeowners. This is not businesses, this is homeowners. Again, in graphic form, you can see that amount by each of the 28 school districts. And this is a chart we kind of use this format for the bond issue, and I thought I'd just replace the numbers with the tax bill so people can see the surrounding communities and what the average homeowner tax bill is for the schools compared to each other. So looking at sources of revenue, so again, for local revenues, primarily taxes for school districts are their non-homestead taxes, which is primarily your business tax. There's also state revenues. 99% of the districts in the state are what we call in formula, which means they get money from the state over and above what their local taxes are in terms of their non-homestead. We are out of formula. We're one of the very small districts, or very small number of districts in the state that are out of formula. And there's many reasons for that. I'll touch on that a little bit. There's also state reimbursements. There's categorical grants that change year after year, depending on what the legislature passes. Then there's federal grants. Obviously, we talked about the ESSER grant earlier. That was a large one that has been around the last few years. And then districts can borrow money. We borrow money for our tax anticipation note, or TAN. We also have emergency loans that we had financed years ago that we're paying off those. And then transfer to other funds. Those will be other types of revenues for school districts. If you look at local revenue ranking, we're number one. So it's like we just had a chart where we're the last, but we're number one for local revenues. And why is that? It's because we're out of formula, and we get our 18 mil non-homestead generates a lot of money on a per student basis, because we have a very robust tax base in the Pontiac School District. Very robust tax base. So how can, I just mentioned, I answered my own question there, but it's basically due to the robust commercial tax base, but also it's because we've lost students. I mean, in the 1970s, we had 20,000 plus students in the district. We were down to, I think, $3,500 to $4,000 range. So the amount per student is a lot, maybe it's higher, but you have to put it in context of we've lost a lot of students. So overall revenue has gone down, because when we were getting money for a certain amount for 10,000 students, 15,000 students, that was a lot more than is generated for the 3,500 students. So you look at state revenue ranking, we're last. State revenues, okay, so let's talk about that. How is that possible? Well, we're out of formula. So we do not get any general per pupil funding from the state of Michigan, what they call the foundation grant. We don't get any, because we rely solely on our tax base. So every other district in Oakland County, the other 27 districts, get some type of per pupil funding from the state of Michigan. We do get some state monies for reimbursement for special ed costs. We get some money for pension reimbursements. But again, overall, we receive the lower amount than the other 27 districts. Federal ranking, highest in the county. So you can see it's kind of the one or the other, it seems like, with our revenue sources. And this really has to do with socioeconomic factors in Pontiac. We have a high free and reduced student population. We're eligible for a lot more federal grants. And then we actually also leverage all the grants that we are able to. Diane Perez does a great job of identifying grants that we might be eligible for. So I think in some districts, they may be eligible for grants, they're just not maybe aware of them or have the resources to pursue those. So I think we maximize our ability to get grants also. So again, in summary, we're very heavily reliant on our local business tax base as well as federal grants. And both the state of Michigan as well as our local homeowners actually contribute very little financially to the general fund, our general fund operations for the district. So hope that was helpful. I found it interesting myself, so I'll be glad to answer any questions you may have.
Very interesting.
I'm always very interested in this particular stat, right? Because, or bit of information, because of when people say, I pay your taxes, I own a home here, you should do this, X, Y, and Z, right? But I don't think people really understand, okay, when you say you own a home here. So I'm about to say something that's going to shock a lot of people, right? Being here 25 years, living, raised family, right? We have a habit that sometimes we don't transfer the name of the original homeowner once they are deceased to the current, which could be a family member, right? And so there's a lot of questions, there's a lot of things, there's a lot of discussion that I think needs to happen in our community, specifically in Pontiac, when it says, do you value education? And how do you value the education that you get here? And so looking at the grants, looking at the outer communities that pay a larger tax base for a school district that their child does not attend. So when you hear people say, when I hear Pontiac folks say, some Pontiac people say, I don't want them here. It always rubbed me the wrong way, because I am they say transplant. Am I saying that right? A transplant, right? Coming from Detroit, so I'll be a transplant, right? I don't know how that happens, but anywho, that always, it just rubs me the wrong way when I understand the history of Pontiac as it relates to everybody, how they migrated, because the GM landed here. So I thank you for this information, because it helps me in conversations that we don't have at this dais. I mean, it's just not in our scope to have right now, but it helps me in the donut shop, no pun intended, with being a police officer. Helps me with just conversations at the cookout, conversations in the neighborhoods, conversations at the senior centers, when we started really talking about, like, who is Pontiac? Like, what is Pontiac? And now I clearly understand sometimes when you have elected officials who get in these other positions and say, I want out of Pontiac. I don't want to pay into the school district, but so, and even more so with the superintendent and what this administration has done over the years, you've given people that trust of why they did it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so that makes sense for me. Now I'm giving you something, your value added to the dollars, because some people are just charity driven, right? Some people are just like, oh, just give me. But then other people are like, well, my money going there, what am I getting for it? And so my shout out to the administration and all the things that you've done over the last decade to get us in a position where we can answer that simple question is, we are value added. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate that. So
if I may add to your comments, President, because you really did just put something in context in alignment with Jim's presentation. Jim, if you can go back to my favorite chart, I even loved this when we were going out trying to promote our bond. $97 $97 per household for a homeowner, compared to 501, 1,131, where a lot of our students are migrating to these districts and continuing to pay $97 for these students here in the district. You're taking money away from a school district that your child could be attending, and you could be paying the amount that they're putting into. So when we talk to these other surrounding districts, yes, they are upset because our students are going there and they're paying these taxes, and Pontiac residents are not. $97 is what you're paying. We're providing an education and can provide an education for students. Just imagine if we poured in more into our own education system as our other surrounding districts are doing.
Yeah.
That's something to think about. And when you mentioned it, It's a conversation and a town hall that we really need to get this message out.
Yeah.
We are robbing our own educational system, and it's unfair for our students that are here and those who need to return back.
Any other? I agree. Like I don't even call it the hard conversation. It's just a conversation that needs to happen. And our some of our leaders who, Black leaders who have this adamant approach that they want to keep us poor. And they want to keep us in this victim mentality, right? Because it shows a need. You stay a victim, that means that there's a need, right? If I stay a victim. And I was just always one of the ones when I first got here, like, I don't see Pontiac in the eyes of some of the people who see it. Like, Pontiac changed my life. Pontiac saved my life. So my conversation is going to be different than somebody who says, I've been here all my life. Well, unfortunately, you shouldn't have been here all your life. And hopefully you did some traveling. If you haven't, then I need to tell you to get you to conversate with the same people that I conversated with that helped me get my things in order, to help me do a little traveling so I can come back here, because there's no other place that I'm going to get a statue on Woodward. Like, that's the goal for me, right? I'm gonna tell you flat out. There's the statue on Woodward, just like this. That's me. That's what I want. Because if you care about education and you care about the district, I can now look at this data and go, you own a home in Pontiac? Okay, you pay $97, right? So how much do you value the education that we're happening here? That's happening here. And then if you don't, and you're not paying the $97, then what are you doing? Like, what else are you taking? Because now it comes where we have groups that come in and want to overlook administration and then say, well, I could do the job better than your school district. So take my program and pay me out of this $97 for unvalidated or a program that's not been vetted, right? So we're gonna have that conversation. And I know it's kind of like one of the ones that ruin your elected official career when you start having those conversations. But I've been here 20 years, it ain't happened yet. So anything else? All right, cool. All right, thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Great presentation.
That's why that's why he gets the award. That's why they get it. This is why they get it. I know City Hall is going to hate me tomorrow. I'm like, now we need to talk about this.
We'll take the presentation over there.
I appreciate that. I think we need to have a conversation on Tuesday. They are going to hate me tomorrow. We're going to go out to General Counsel, Human Resources, EduStaff Contract Addendum. Ms. Kellum, Superintendent.
Thank you. I'll turn it over to Ms. Kellum.
Thank you, Superintendent. So this is a EduStaff contract addendum. We already currently have a contract with EduStaff. We need to add a addendum to the current contract. In order to retain and attract contracted employees to EduStaff, it is important that our wages are comparable with surrounding Oakland County School District for reading and math interventionists and instructional coaches. Administration is asking for the following: hourly wage increase. Increase the hourly rate for math and reading interventionists by $5 per hour, from $40 per hour to $45 per hour. Increase the instructional coaches hourly rate by $5 per hour, from $50 to $55 per hour. We currently have 6 interventionists with the current rate at $40 per hour. Proposed increase $45 per hour. Hours worked per day 7.25. We have, at the time this may be adjusted just a little bit, 131 days left in the school year, for a total compensation of $42,738.75. Total compensation for 6 interventionists will be $256,432.50. We currently have 2 instructional coaches. Current pay rate $50 per hour. Proposed increase $55 per hour. They work part-time, 5.9 hours per day, 131 days left in the school year. For the total compensation rate, $42,509.50. Total compensation rate for both, $85,019. This would add $341,451.50 to the contract. Current contract amount will be $1,129,401. New contract amount will be $1,470,852.50. To date, the amount spent on this contract is $171,880.76. All increases are covered under grant funds. It is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Education approve the EduStaff contract addendum for pay increases for reading and math interventionists and instructional coaches in the amount of $341,451.50 for the remainder of the 22-23 school year. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Go ahead. Trustee Terry, sir.
Thank you. First one, just,
Is your mic on, trustee?
oh, I turned it off.
Okay.
Smart. The first question I had was this contract that we're doing the addendum to, is this for 1 year or 2 year?
So the EduStaff contract is for 3 years, and I believe it's
3 years.
ending at the end of 23.
Mm-hmm.
Ending at the end of 23. The school year 23, so it's 2 more years left?
Next school year, yes, sir.
Okay. That clarifies that one.
And I'm asking for the end of this school year because we would have that come back if we need to increase it more than that. But this is what it would be for the end of the school year for 22-23.
No, because I was just looking at the numbers and based off the amount you provided for, I guess, the remaining semester of this year, there was ample enough in there from the original contracted amount. But if we go on for another year, then I think, we probably need to adjust that one for the new contract amount for the third year. I would say that. Okay. And then the other one I had just the typos with the periods and the commas.
I saw that as I was reading through.
Okay.
I will make sure I correct that.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. That's all I had.
Okay. Any other questions? Just for, since we threw the numbers out here. So this is for our teachers, correct?
Instructional coaches.
Instructional
and
coaches for
intervention.
teachers.
They come in and they provide instructional support for teachers, the coaches, and then the intervention coaches are for the students and teachers.
Okay. All right. All increases are covered under grant funds.
Correct.
Okay. And to me, not that makes it different. Like grants or no grants, general fund for me spending $1, but I'm glad we're able to do it. But education is expensive.
Mhm.
It is expensive. And so for Mr. and Mrs. Pontiac, thank you. That's all I can say. So I'm going to move down to action item approval of EduStaff contract. Thank you, Ms. Keller and Sue. I'm going to move down to general action item approval of EduStaff. Is it EDU? Yes. EduStaff contract addendum. Need a motion on the floor.
So moved.
So moved by Trustee David Smith,
Support.
supported by Trustee Terry. Questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hannah, yes. Trustee Terry?
Yes.
Trustee Turpin is absent. VP Bowman is absent. Trustee David Smith?
yes.
President Garrett?
Yes.
And Trustee Gross is absent. Motion passed.
All right. Thank you. Going to move down to discussion item Kennedy roof replacement. The presenter is Mr. Rob England. Superintendent, the meeting is yours.
Thank you. I will defer to Mr. England.
Good evening, everyone. Robert England, Facilities Director.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Kennedy Gym roof is in need for replacement. This is a non-instructional area of the gymnasium, and this is the last roofing that we have left in the school occupied space in the district. As this is a roof that was originally completed in 2016 under the original sinking fund. But this will complete the roof replacements of all school sites. The current roof is leaking badly and starting to cause the Kennedy gym floor to buckle. Currently, this is our only area that our high school is temporarily until we get the new gymnasium done in January. Since this is a health and safety issue, the state of Michigan considers it an emergency purchase. Therefore, we are allowed to proceed without a formal bid. However, we believe that we have received good pricing from Qualified Roofing, which is our current vendor for WHRC. Per the Barton and Marlowe review of their proposal, the quote is $307,513 plus a 20% contingency of $61,503 for a total not to exceed of $369,016. Again, it is a recommendation of the administration for the Board of Education to approve the emergency replacement of the Kennedy roof to Quality Roofing at a cost of $307,513 and a 20% contingency, not to exceed the amount of $369,016. You should also see in your bid pack some of the quotations, information, unit pricing. Both IDS and Barton and Marlowe and the AOC and ARC have discussed this.
All right, thank you. Any questions, comments, concerns from the board at this time? Trustee Terry.
My first question I have is in regards to this project and knowing that we're in the winter season currently, do they have a estimated timing on this project?
There is some lead time on the materials, but we did want to get this in the hoppers as fast as we can. We have done 2 repairs on that roof to try to minimize the water coming in. So this is really to try to get things started as soon as we can. We do not have an exact ETA of when the materials will be here and when the project will start.
Okay. And that, excuse me, that's possible to happen during the winter season as well? Or is this something that
realistically, this is probably going to be February or March, early spring.
And then the other thing was just a small typo in regards to the final number. I think you had the pound sign instead of the dollar sign. A couple of them. So if we could just correct that, that'd be great. That's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hey,
You good?
Hey.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay.
do we have a tarp or anything over the roof now? I know we said it's causing some damage to
No,
the.
we have done some temporary repairs to minimize the water coming in. And unfortunately, the tarps don't really work.
Oh,
The issue with the cold weather is trying to get the bonding agent to bond to the materials. And unfortunately, sometimes the water runs where the leak might be here and the water starts from somewhere else. So we're working our magic on it.
okay.
Okay. You said it was some work done under the sinking fund. It wasn't a complete renovation. It was
Yeah,
just partial.
You may remember in the state of Michigan allowed us to do an emergency repair with Tremco of 1.2 million.
Yes.
We did the entire school, and we just did not have the funding at the time to complete the gym. The gym wasn't as bad as the rest of the building, which was pouring in water. So we did not address it at the time. And then what we tried to do is address all the areas where the children were, leaving this building and the gymnasiums for last. So this will be the last area over in school occupied gym. And then, of course, we have this building left to do.
Okay. Thanks. Any other questions, comments, or concerns? All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Need a motion on the floor to approve the approval of Kennedy roof replacement.
So move.
So moved by trustee Terry, supported by trustee David Smith. Questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, roll call.
Trustee Terry,
Yes.
Trustee Turpin is not here. VP Bowman is not here. Trustee Davis Smith,
Yes.
President Garrett,
Yes.
Trustee Gross is not here, and I am voting yes.
All right.
Motion passed.
Oh, it passed. I thought Trustee Terry snuck something in. Okay. Going to move down to communications, petitions, and delegations. Madam Secretary.
Yes, President Garrett, we do have one. We
Mhm.
have Mr. Colin Levert,
Mhm.
which is here. And Mr. Levert, your request to address the Pontiac Board of Education for 3 minutes is granted with the commitment that all comments will be delivered with courtesy and civility. Failure to do so will result in forfeit of your allotted time. Okay.
Welcome, sir. Thank you. All right.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Superintendent Kelly Williams, President Gil Garrett, and everyone else in attendance. My name is Colin Levert. I'm the owner and operator of Levert Industries, LLC. It's a small startup company. Basically, I'm an Air Force veteran with a degree in technology management from Eastern Michigan University. And I'm good friends with Kevin Gross, just to put that out there. But I wanted to provide a service for the school district, and eventually all the other school districts are in process of obtaining EV buses. I know that Pontiac recently bought 2 10-passenger all-electric Ford E transit buses with a 126-mile range there, and I know there is no chargers or EV chargers in the bus yard, so I just wanted to provide that service and speak with the business at some point and present the business plan and some type of bid process or whatever the process is to get in the running for that, because it's only 1% out of 480,000 vehicles that are on the road. The batteries are 4 battery packed. I got a little notes here, so excuse me. I'm going all over the place, but at the end of the day, I just would like to put it out there that Levert Industries would like to provide EV chargers for the school district, and eventually for drivers and services that offer service options as payment and things like that, where it can expand and take advantage of this new EV charge. And I'm well aware of you, Mr. Garrett, providing the charger for the district for the building here. Just doing a little homework or whatnot. I'm aware of that. I left you a message, gave you a call a while back there. I left a message for her to get back to you and speak with you before I came down here and did the presentation. But really, I just wanted to come down and get started and see what the process is to get interested in that. Okay, thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Jim, can you speak with him after the meeting just to let him know the steps that we're taking for our bidding with the infrastructure piece?
Thank you.
Any more? I like those comments, concerns, and delegations, Man. Why am I looking at me? Oh, I'm running the meeting. Sorry. We're going to move down to board comments and announcements. Anybody else want to? Mr. Marcus Terry. Go ahead, Trustee Terry. I appreciate you, man. I'm starting to get that.
No, it ain't all about you. It's okay.
Okay, man. I appreciate
you
that.
get the spotlight, though.
Thank you.
President. Okay, 5 minutes. Good. Okay, so first off, I want to say congratulations to everyone to receive the awards earlier today. Awesome news in regards to the Upward Bound Summer Academy. Looking forward to have that service here for the additional 5 more years with the school. So congrats on that one as well. Attorney Daryl Seegers, congratulations on your appointment, and then all of the other special presentations for all the services that were provided to help the school district get to the position that we are in now. So once again, I want to take my hat off to everyone and say congratulations, and I hopefully you continue to work with us and continue to push Pontiac School District forward. Let's see. Next, I want to say in regards to the retention pay, I know this has been a hot topic among the teachers, or should I say the staff in general, in regards to retention pay, in regards to just pay increases overall. So hearing this news for the one last time is, if I heard correct. So once again, this is good news for all of the staff. So hopefully this works out and we continue to move forward, and also moving into next year as well. So consider that as also staying with the school district and pushing us forward as we continue to move forward. Let's see, the tributes. I think we're good with the tributes. Reports. I want to say awesome reports. Always love hearing good news. The progress that we're making financially, physically and structurally, all of that is awesome, good news. I know we had some struggles, but happy to say that I love seeing progress. So hopefully we can continue to see progress as we continue to move throughout the school year. And that's all that I have for right now. So thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Treasurer Shaquana Davis-Smith. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. So I would like to say congratulations again to our upper bound students for their 50% increase on their testing scores from the beginning when they started until they finished. I was also an upper bound student for Cranbrook, so I love that program. Also, congratulations to Mr. Seegers. That's a great honor, and I'm proud of you. Mr. Graham, of course, you know I love you to death. You always give us great information and things of that. And I just want to thank our staff, Ms. Kellum and superintendent, the superintendent assistant, and all our teachers, staff, parapros, bus drivers. Just, I mean, it takes all of us to have a great district, and I see our district every time I come to our meetings, and when I read my packets, that I see us growing more and more. It is small steps, but those steps is better going forward than going backwards. So I thank you guys, because I know a lot of you do more than your job description. So I appreciate you guys. And happy holidays to everybody. I'm booked up, so I'm not doing nobody else's meal. So don't call P's and Q's. Thank you. Have a good night.
I'm going to ask after the meeting. Trustee Hannah. Good evening, ma'am. And
Good
thank you
e-
for taking on the secretary role.
Absolutely.
Appreciate that. You did an awesome job this evening.
Thank you. Thank you. I concur with everything our board members have already said tonight, so I'm not going to repeat what they said. I too am appreciative of all the work that is taking place, that's happening in the retention pay. I will say a big thank you again to our teachers and staff for the work that they're doing. And I just wanted to mention to Juan, I thought he was still here, that I am so excited to hear the progress that is made. Usually we hear what's on back order or what can't be done. So I was really excited about all the progressions that took place. So I just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
All right. Thank you. I have some news that the superintendent, she doesn't get, we're going to make it where you get closing comments. We're going to bring that into the next one, because it's some stuff that I just think that the superintendent need to say. So I'm going to take my time to say them, because there are individuals, and I'm sorry, I'm a protector. That's just who I am. I'm a protector. I'm a knee in your chest. I'm gonna beat the drum of Pontiac. I am all things Pontiac. I'm on my if I ain't Pontiac, who is type behavior. When I say it, I wanted all the smoke. When I came back, I was serious about it. And so when you know something, like you be glad whenever you glad when everybody else hear it, but you already know it. So you just know it in your soul. It's like you just Thanksgiving coming up. The cooking from Grandma's house is gonna be on point. That's how I feel about the staff, and that's how I feel about the superintendent. That's how I feel about my board trustees. That's how I feel about the kids in our district. That's how I feel about the parents in our district. I believe this. I've seen this for over 2 decades. But when other people see it, so I'm going to read this statement from MDE. Now, this is the Michigan Department of Education, right? So we have trustees, old and new, and I will say old. I'm not going to say new. I'm not going to say old. I'm going to say seasoned. Yeah, that word. that specifically people have tried to just, oh, what the state say, or what does the state say about X, Y, and Z? Did the state? Oh, the state. That's all you hear. The state. So this is for the people who like to the state, right? So this is not from us. This is not from the administration. We didn't stack the scores. We ain't teaching to the test or anything like that. I ain't snitching. I'm just saying our kids are improving under their own merit. They are showing up to school because they want to learn, even if they don't feel confident in the things that they're learning. They're trying to learn. So the state said the decline in local and state assessment scores in the spring of 2022 that OPD has seen in some of our partnership districts because of the pandemic is not present in Pontiac School District. It is not present in the Pontiac School District. The ability to maintain or slightly improve student assessment results in 2020 relative to 2017 and 2018 levels is certainly an accomplishment for Pontiac. So when I say we have the formula, when I'm beating my chest and I'm walking around and I'm saying we have it, come get it, bring your kids back, don't come crying after they didn't treat your kids some kind of way. This is what I'm talking about. Like this right here. This is when somebody else says it. So I don't want to hear them on kumbaya, we the victim, we our poor kids, our X, Y, and Z. You have what the state and this nation needs. So I'm using this as a reminder every time I think somebody about to get up there and say something negative about how my kids are learning, or 1% growth here, or 1% growth there, X, Y, and Z, playing victim. I'm going to come back to this statement that MDE, the person who's in charge of all of us, state of Michigan, the authority over all of us, how they state and speak to what happens in Pontiac. So to the administration, to this current administration, thank you so much for being the answer. Thank you so much for being the answer. And we're going to take this show on the road. So with that being said, thank you again. Understand that you are brilliant. And don't let nobody take that from you. Don't let one voice take that from you. As it relates to my English language learners, we are having a drastic and an improved growth in our Latino community. They make up 36% of the school district. And I got an opportunity to visit 4 full classrooms. I remember when it was just one. We have 4 full classrooms over at the high school now that's saying, I want to learn and continue my education in Pontiac. And so we need to start looking at how we can continue to assist in that area, but then also recognize it and start leading the change and opportunities for that demographic. When I look at Pontiac, I just don't think Black. I see a multitude of people and culture and climate here that does an excellent job with making everybody feel at home. And if you don't have a home and you're looking for one, then you might want to start looking in Pontiac. There's a lot of things that you see and things that happen outside of us that just don't, it happens here, but it's the way that Pontiac chooses to handle it, right? It's the way that they choose to go after certain situations, and in particular, how we deal with our kids. We don't play about our babies. And so that's just one thing that I love about Pontiac. So I appreciate it. And thank you, Ms. Wright, for not hitting me with that buzzer. I appreciate it. I know I went over my 5 minutes, but I was just so excited about the whole MDE. So be encouraged. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Love on your family. Continue to be encouraged. Please, 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 if you can do something for somebody less fortunate, just take the opportunity to do so. And it costs you nothing to be nice and give love. Need a motion on the floor to adjourn, please.
So moved.
So moved by Trustee Treasurer Davis Smith, supported by Mr. Marcus Trustee Terry. Questions, comments, or concerns to adjournment?
Roll call.
Roll call.
Trustee Turpin is absent. VP Bowman is absent. Trustee Davis Smith, Yes. President Garrett,
I don't know.
TikTok.
TikTok. No, yes.
Trustee Gross is absent. I am voting yes, and Trustee Terry.
Yes.
All right, motion carries.
All right, thank you. Those are at home, drive safe if you're leaving. But those are at home, appreciate you for tuning in. Thank you so much. Have a good evening and happy Thanksgiving.
Have one more next year, 23, 24, one last.
Yeah.
Alec, 23, 24.